Waiting for you guys to get in the chat. I'm about to go to bed. If you're not watching this live, just skip ahead, I guess. Like skip 2-3 minutes. Comcast. Yo, if you're in the chat, let me know. Say hi, guys. Who's in the chat? Who's in the chat? You guys having a good night? I'm about to go to bed. I just wanted to talk to you guys before I go to sleep. Who's in here? Who's in the chat? Say hi, guys. Don't be shy now. Hey, it's like 5 of y'all. Say something. Hello? Who's in here? Who am I talking to? What's up, guys? How's your night? I want to work on another one. Hey, guys. Say hi. Who's in here? I don't know what's going on. It's a bunch of you in the chat. No one is saying anything. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh. Why do I feel that you are a health care field? Not at all. Not even a little bit. I don't know why you would feel that way. I'm not in healthcare at all. Hey, we don't move in fear. I'm glad you're here. Understanding truth. Thanks for the gift. Appreciate you. Very kind of you. I appreciate it. I'm a smart man. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hey, Jem. Hey, Raisa, Ismail. Raisa. Am I saying that right? I think I'm saying it right. The internet is crazy. I'm just scrolling and you are the most normal person. Uh, you know, I take that as a compliment. And there's this thing that used that there are two things back when I was dating before I met my wife. There are two things that ladies that I used to meet on first dates used to say to me all the time. The first thing they would say to me is, "You look much better in person," and I always thought, you didn't think I looked good? Why did you meet?" Anyways, I guess they weren't shallow. Um, but I used to always hear, "You look much better in person," and the other thing I used to hear is, "I'm so glad you're normal." I'm so glad you're normal. I was like, is is the bar so low that you just have to be normal to, like, you know, make a good impression, you know? But I guess, the uh the dating world back when I was in it 3 years ago was not very good. So if it's not very good on my side, it's probably not very good on their side. I feel like once you hit your 30s, people who are able to make a relationship work are usually in a relationship. And the people that are left are usually left because, they're the leftovers. You got to get lucky and find someone who's in between relationships, someone who just got dumped, someone who's in divorce. You know, I got really lucky. Is your wife white? No, my wife is West African, actually. She's darker than me. The first time that I have to say, as a black man, I've never heard anyone tell me, "You look pale." But my wife says that in the winter, I look pale. And she's always like, "You're so pale. You're turning white." And I'm like, "What?" I'm very black. But she has much darker skin than I do, and to her, I'm uh, I'm pale. But I had never heard anyone say to me that I was pale before she said that to me. I was just like, that's a first. I've never heard that about myself. It was very interesting. How are you doing? The timing is right this morning. Well, I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good from yesterday. I was feeling good yesterday. I feel good today as well. I'm enjoying a video game I'm playing, Expedition 33. Highly recommended. I'm almost done. I'm about 85% done with it. Um, so I feel good. I feel real good. The internet is crazy. Okay, sorry. Hello from Croatia. Hello, Josie P. Kovacic. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. Kovacic. Um, it's a huge compliment. You don't understand everything I have scrolled past in the last 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that there's some weirdos out there. I'm just a normal dude talking about crazy things instead of being a crazy person talking about crazy things. I strongly agree. It's great actually seeing a person speaking true. Well, I just uh, I just had a guy from Ontario, which is like a province. We don't say states in Canada. We say provinces, but it's a state over, like right next to where I live. And he was talking about the same thing that I talk about. He's going through the same thing I'm going through. I thought it was very interesting. And he wrote a comment on my page saying, well, actually, he sent me a message saying, "Thank you for your page." I'm like, "Thank you for yours." I'm glad that people are speaking up about this. It's, it's Zerzetzung all over again. And, hundreds of thousands of people were affected by Zerzetzung and they still have, um, I guess, backlash or like side effects from it. CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I often think of, I mean, I'm in a good mood now, so I'm not seeing it from like a, gray lens. But I often think about the things that I'm going through within the whole gang stalking, and I always say to myself, even if this stopped, which it won't. I mean, it's not gonna stop now. But even if it stopped right now, I mean, perhaps it'll stop one day. I mean, I believe that. But even if it stopped today, right now, I would never be the same again. I would never see the world the same way I see the world. And I'm happy that I've gone through narcissistic abuse and I've studied narcissistic abuse so much because after I went through it and I studied it and I ended my relationships with pretty much all narcissists in my life, I always thought to myself, the person I used to be before I learned about narcissistic personality disorder, I will never be that person again. I'm never going to be able to find that person again, that person who has the, sort of a childlike naivete around about the world, you know, my world views. I'm just a completely different person, and I think it's a good thing. um, I think it's a good thing. I think uh, learning about narcissistic abuse itself, I believe, has made me a stronger person because I allowed it to make me a stronger person. Because I didn't allow it to destroy me. I didn't allow it to consume me and make me into what they are, which is bitter, miserable people. Um, and I believe that gang stalking is also, I mean, I'm not going to, deny that this sucks. This absolutely sucks. Um, I wish it wasn't happening, but I also cannot deny as well that it has made me a much better person, and it's consistently making me a much better person. And I think that in moments of joy, it's easier to accept that reality, which is a reality. It is making us much better people. Um, but in moments of sorrow, of sadness, frustration, anger, that's a hard reality to accept. So it's really important that in our moments of joy we realize the silver lining to this torture. Anyways, Gandhi for president. Gandhi's gone. May his soul rest in peace. Wow, your teeth are so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. People from West Africa are great. Yes. And I'm glad I'm from West Africa too. Are you? Where are you from in West Africa? Where are you from? My wife is from Senegal. It's a French speaking West African country. There's a couple. I'll subscribe just because of that. Thank you. I appreciate you. I think you will find that the content is quite good. Uh, I never stay up this late, and I am darn near to tears about everything I've seen tonight. The spiritual state of the world makes me very concerned. Man, sounds like your algorithm is a bit messed up. You know, I know for my part, my algorithm is consistently negative. It's just a bunch of negative things about the world that people need to know. But if you're on Instagram or Facebook or whatever for too long, it sort of messes with your mood. So I haven't been checking it today. I looked at it this morning and I was like, nope, I want to have a good day. All right. And I just stopped looking at it. Ever play Elden Ring? I think I have, but I'm not good enough at video games to play games like Elden Ring. I play mostly JRPGs. Yeah, actually, I only play JRPGs. I'm not really good at other games. I mean, the timing is okay today to be here. Your live stream used to be very early, and I will still be in bed. I'm from Africa, and the time is different. Well, you're right. I used to do lives, around around noon, my time. I'll get back to that. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll get back to that. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam, Gracie. I'm glad you're here. Salam, salam. Ramadan Mubarak. Indeed. Not monitoring, just making myself known. Okay, that's cool. You're welcome. Gandhi is gone. Gandhi is gone. It's a fact. Gandhi is gone. I didn't allow to destroy me to realize that one most must be very careful, and I'm teaching my kids who are in college about narcissism. Great. Very important to teach. Everyone should learn about narcissism. The issue about teaching people about narcissism on a major scale is that the narcissists would also be listening. Uh, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth them listening, them hearing. Um, because even if narcissists are aware of what they are and they're aware that we are aware of what they are, as long as you have proper boundaries, doesn't matter. Gandhi is a bigot. Okay. Well, Gandhi's gone, so I'm not talking about Gandhi. He's gone. I also don't know anything about him, and to be honest, I'm not interested to know anything about him. I'm just not. Um, I'm sure he was like any other human being, flawed. Um, so I did a video on Gandhi tactics, and I do believe that would be the way to defeat the powers that be today. Um, you're talking about peaceful protest. I think the way to defeat the powers that be today um, is boycotts. Just boycotts. Italy is doing that right now. Italy has decided we're not going to work. We have enough food for the month. We're just gonna stay home. Whatever, you know. You guys want to, create a system that is beneficial to only you people and that, screws us over. Have it. You can have it. We're staying home, and no one is. I'm sorry. There's a gang stalker in here. So Italy is just like, we're not doing it. We're not interested. You can have it. Um, they've decided to basically stop participating in the system. However, the issue here is that I do believe that if we were to do that, uh, they would not allow it. You know, they're already talking about taking away Americans because America is pretty much the only country that has freedom of speech. Other countries may seem like they have freedom of speech, like, for example, Canada, Australia, UK. They seem, because they're first world country, first world countries, um, they seem like they have freedom of speech, but they don't. You don't have freedom of speech in Canada, in UK. If your speech is deemed hate speech, you will be arrested for it. And what can be deemed hate speech is liable to change at any moment, which means that you don't have freedom of speech. In America, you can have full on hate speech as long as you're not threatening anyone. You can really, have on full hate speech, just speak about like protected classes and say horrible things about them. Nothing is going to happen to you. Now, they may project that something is going to happen to you. I mean, for now, nothing is going to happen to you. They may project, like, you may get a visit from the police, but like, if you just tell them, like, I do not wish to talk to you people, they're going to leave. Um, in the UK, if you say the wrong thing about the wrong group or if you support the wrong group, you get arrested, you know? Um, anyways, no diss to Gandhi, just thought it was funny. Yeah. Sorry, Gandhi. Who is Gandhi actually? What are you all talking about? I guess Google it. Gandhi is a pretty well-known person. Um, I'm not in a position to speak about who Gandhi is, to tell you the truth. I'd rather not talk about Gandhi. Gandhi non-compliance. I boycott just about everything. Yeah, same, same. I don't buy stuff. I don't buy anything. Even like the PlayStation that I'm playing right now, like the video game I'm playing, I didn't buy it. I borrowed it. from my brother-in-law, which is why I hadn't played that game Final Fantasy 16 that I was waiting on for like 2, 3 years. I'm thinking probably four by now. Just because I refused to buy a PS5. And it's not like I don't have the money to buy it. I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I just didn't buy it because I don't want to buy stuff. I don't want to participate. I do not wish to participate. Um, I'm from Nigeria, and folks outside Nigeria believe that Nigerians are bad and believe I don't try to convince people otherwise because bad people exist worldwide. And to be honest, I don't beg folk. I don't beg folk. That is true that Nigerians do get a pretty bad rep around the world. Some pretty bad things are said about Nigerians, but if you were to meet a Nigerian, it would probably be the nicest person you've ever met, the kindest, most welcoming person you've ever met, especially if you're American, because the people that you meet as an American would also be Americans, and there is no comparison in how kind and welcoming West Africans in general, West Africans are in comparison to Americans. And that stands for any West African country that I can think of. I don't know much about Mauritania. No, is it Mauritania that I'm thinking about? Yeah, Mauritania or Mali. But I know Senegal, I know Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Congo, sort of West Africa, I guess. And West Africans are kind people. I think y'all need to pause on Gandhi. He already expressed. You guys can talk about Gandhi. I'm done though. I've been struggling with racism. Any tips? That's first of all, that's really funny. You've been struggling with racism. Any tips? I would say um, interact with the group that you are racist towards beyond what you see on TV. Or, as a matter of fact, the way that I feel about racism is it doesn't matter. So what? You're racist. I don't care. Who cares? Being racist is not against the law. Being racist just means that you're ignorant. I just feel sorry for you. And if you would like to not be ignorant, then you know what to do about that. So, you know, just learn you something, crack open a book. You know, this actually makes me think of there was a person that was talking about stats. Actually, I was talking with someone, I'm not going to name her, but she has like a really well-known Instagram page. And she had put up a post, and I just made a comment about because she's like she always wears hoodies, and then she posted a picture of her like with like gym clothes, and I was just like, damn, she's got a sleeper build, like she's massive, and like she's ripped, and I was like, man, your hoodie is doing a great job of hiding that, and somebody wrote in the comment like, oh, bro, like bro, she's racist, like don't don't talk to her. And I was just like, I don't care that she's racist. So what? Who cares? What does that matter? And then we she wrote to me, and we had a conversation in private, like in private DMs. And she was talking about how numbers don't lie when it comes to uh people of right here. And she was saying how um, you know, we are responsible for, though we are a small portion of the US population, we're responsible for most of the crime, most of the violent crimes. And I was just like, I mean, I didn't talk to her about it because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, and I don't want to change her opinion. It just doesn't matter. It's not important to me, you know. But how she feels about my race or any other race, it's just not important to me. But She was saying like numbers don't lie, and I was just like, numbers do lie. This is a fallacy. People will say women lie, men lie, and numbers don't, right? But the truth is, if a liar is telling you the numbers are a lie. I'll give you an example. So you'll say black people are only 13% of the population, but they commit over 50% of the violent crimes, which on paper sounds true, especially if the government is telling you that. What they're not telling you is that the violent crimes being committed by other races are often not considered crimes. For example, when they sent um, soldiers to Afghanistan, to Iraq, when they're going to send soldiers to Iran soon enough, um, most of these people are not black. A lot of them are, but most of them are not black. Um, and these soldiers unalive people. But when a soldier unalives, civilians overseas, somewhere in a desert, right? They don't consider that a crime. They don't add it up to the tally. But, you know, it doesn't make it less of a crime just because they don't consider it a crime. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean when I say um, the idea that numbers don't lie is a lie. If the person telling you the numbers is a liar, the numbers are probably lying. It's a lie of omission. We omitted to tally up the numbers of crimes being committed by our race because the crimes that our race commits are not considered crimes. It's a crime when you do it here to us or to yourselves, amongst yourselves, but it's not a crime when we do it to them overseas, though the action is the exact same action, you know? Like you broke into someone's home and used a firearm and pew-pewed them. That's a crime. They entered into someone else's country, and pew-pewed some people, but that's not a crime though. You feel me? I'm just saying it's easy to like look at stats and numbers and go, these people are violent, but come on. Which African country do you know of that has colonized another country? Which African country has, um, eliminated native people to take their land? Name one. Don't worry, I'll wait. Okay. Anyways, so, if you're racist, I don't care. You're just ignorant, which is fine. I don't judge you for your ignorance. I'm ignorant about Gandhi. Hopefully, people who love Gandhi will forgive me for it. And I forgive you for being racist. All right? Okay. Boycott app. No thanks. They explain why to boycott a company and gives you alternatives. Don't buy stuff you don't need. Yep. Racism. Just do your best to ignore it. Now, if somebody put their hands on you, all bets are off. Pretty much. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care about race. I've recently discovered I have Ivory Coast and Ghana ancestry within 10 generations, which was surprising only because I'm that white, I'm translucent, but of course it was a welcome surprise. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. From Turkey. Hey, Turkey, where people go when they go bald. Or, when they want to have I think it's bariatric surgery, like surgery for like their stomach. I know surgeries are very inexpensive in Turkey and of high quality. So kudos to your country. And you guys treat your stray animals very well in Turkey, from what I've heard. Dogs and cats are treated very well in Turkey, which is super cool. People would be surprised by how connected we all are as opposed to our divisions. Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. You'd be more surprised at how the ruling class tries to um, use our differences to, divide each other. Sorry, there's a gang stalker in here. I'm just gonna get rid of him real quick. There we go. Goodbye. And yeah, a lot of it is, it's manufactured. When it comes to like division, it's really manufactured. So I think it's really funny how like when perps get in the chat, they constantly try to like. I mean, you would think since they study me, they would know what to say to piss me off, but they'll talk about my mustache or my beard, you know, or they'll say like I'm LGBT. I'm just like, is this the best you got? You studied me. Aren't you watching? I'm disappointed in you. Um, I really like Malcolm X. Malcolm X was a hero. It's very funny. I was reading on the events that took place before his passing, and right before his passing, he went to mosque in Palestine, and yeah, when he came back, I mean, he did have issues with the Nation of Islam in America as well. Um, so I don't know what happened exactly. Well, I think we know what happened, but yeah. Anyways, I don't want to get too deep into that. Why associate with someone that doesn't like your skin? Don't give in to the ignorance. It matters. Well, it's cool if it matters to you. It doesn't matter to me. If you look at, for example, Fred Hampton, who built the Rainbow Coalition, he was involved with Puerto Ricans. He was involved with KKK members. Fred Hampton is black. He was black, by the way, and he was 21, I think, at the time that he passed away. And he was a Black Panther member, and he built the Rainbow Coalition, where he just got a bunch of people of different, races, um, of different ethnicities, and he got them working towards the same goal. He basically said, I don't care if you're racist. You're not my enemy. I know who my enemy is, and my enemy. We share an enemy. The enemy that I no, my enemy is also your enemy, and my enemy, our enemy, has convinced you that I am taking something away from you, and we're seeing that to this day with ICE. A lot of people that are for ICE believe that their living situation is bad because of immigrants or because of illegal immigrants, when in reality, your situation is bad because it's been manufactured to be so. There is no scarcity on earth, you know? Uh, we would be able to live a good life, a quality life, without savage capitalism that takes advantage and exploits savagely, you know, the working class or third world countries for their resources and their labor. It would be possible, but there would probably be no billionaires. And that's really what it's all about. It's not about making things cheap for you. It's about them filling their pockets at the expense of lives, innocent lives. So sometimes I think about these things and I'm just like, I can't believe I cannot believe that I am of the same species as these people. You know, you read about King Leopold that would chop off the arms of Congolese mine workers, or was it farmers? Miners. Not miners like children, but well, children as well, but miners, as in people who worked in mines. And just for not meeting their quotas. And it's just like that wasn't necessary. You know, he did it purely out of, you know, he had people do it purely out of narcissism. He just said, Congo is mine. I own it. And the people in it as well. You must work for me. And you must, um, you know, respect this quota of quantity of production. And if you don't, your hand gets chopped off. I'm not Congolese, but you know, Congolese people look Haitian. I'm Haitian. I met two Congolese people 2 months ago. Was it a month ago? Maybe a month ago. And they were like, you know, they were like everybody, you know, anyone has ever told you that you look, you know, you look Congolese, and I'm like, no, but you two brothers look Haitian, and they were like, no, 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 and I was like, no, you guys look more Haitian than I do, because no one has ever met me and said, are you Haitian? Never. That's never happened, you know. But these two Congolese brothers looked 100% Asian, and most Congolese people that I meet look just like a different version of another Haitian person that I know, you know? And I'm like, I could show you a picture of who I think you look like, and he's Haitian. You guys are probably related. But yeah, I'm not Congolese. I'm Haitian. But it's pretty much the same thing because Haitians come from West Africa. Mostly from Benin. I tried to get to know this American guy, did me wrong. I thought I met the one after being in a narcissistic marriage. These narcissistic people are everywhere. To you, this man has a family. Um, oh, do you know this man has a family? Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Well, you know, it's to be expected after you get out of a relationship with a narcissist and you get back into the dating world. You're going to meet some really bad people. The dating scene is it's not good, you know. It's just not, and you have to be ready for that. What I tell people is to, you know, keep it in your pants, you know, keep things moving slow, because people usually reveal themselves when they don't get what they want. And if someone interests you, then yeah, sure, spend time with them, but you don't have to sleep with them, you know. Um, I know like it doesn't seem realistic when I say it because it's like the times have changed, but you know, if everybody's wrong, everybody's wrong. You don't have to be wrong with them. You can just say, no, everybody's wrong. I'm going to be righteous. I will say that I wish I hadn't slept with most of the people that I slept with, most of the women that I slept with when I was dating. Um, there has never been a time where I didn't sleep with someone and I ended up regretting. There are have been many times when I slept with women and then I just found out like, oh, you're not a good person. And then I just, you know, end the relationship and I'm just like, I wish I didn't give that person my energy, you know? So the dating scene is really bad, and bad people in the dating world don't necessarily present themselves as bad right off the bat. For example, the guy you met had a whole family. Jesus. What's also not being understood is America is a continent. Yes, America is a continent. Violent crime has more to do with poverty than race, but if racial divisions create poverty,
then those figures will probably increase. It's more to do with keeping people down. I have nothing to add to that. You are 100% right. I have been to Senegal. It's a wonderful place, and food is out of this world. I don't like Senegalese food that well. That's not true. There are certain meals, certain Senegalese meals that I don't love, but it's only because they resemble Haitian food so much. And to me, when I eat Senegalese food, it just feels like this is a bad version of my food. It's not bad. It's better than most foods I've tried. And my wife hates when I say this. It really like breaks her heart. But I like Senegalese food. It's just when I eat Senegalese food, I'm like, all these ingredients are the exact same as Haitian food. You know, plantains, rice, goat, chicken, whatever. You know, and I'm just like, but it doesn't taste as good as Haitian food. It just feels like bad Haitian food, which is like bad pizza. I'll eat bad pizza all day. Bad pizza is still good, but it does feel like I'm eating bad pizza. Anyways, um, jollof rice and learn it was originally from Senegal, not Nigeria, which is very funny because Nigerians will swear up and down that jollof rice comes from Nigeria when the Jollof Empire, the Jollof King was from Senegal, and Senegalese people literally their language is Wolof, which is Jollof, right? So I thought that was very funny. Can you imagine like if like for example the national meal in my country is griot? Can you imagine if like Dominican Republic was like griot is ours? We were just like, excuse me, what? What'd you say? It's very funny. Like Nigerians will swear up and down, like, no, it comes from us. Like they speak Wolof. The Jollof Empire, the Jollof King was in Senegal. How do you figure Jollof rice is yours? It's like it seems like a very obvious. Put like two and two together. Anyways, that's funny. I love Nigeria. I'm sorry if I offended. I don't mean to. Just look at the map, guy. It's like saying Nigeria is Africa. How to keep myself grounded from all the attack by those perp. Don't react. You get good at what you practice. You get good at what you practice. If you don't react, at first it's gonna be hard. It's gonna suck. You're gonna get frustrated. And then eventually it's just gonna be like, this doesn't even deserve my energy. Not reacting to their provocations feels much better than reacting to it in the long run. So if you try it, you'll see like, oh, like never will you like you'll never have a moment where you'll be like, I'm really glad I reacted to this petty stuff 3 days ago. That's never gonna happen. But it will happen. What will happen is when you don't react to stuff, after 3 days, you'll be like, boy, am I glad I didn't let that ruin my day 3 days ago. Like I'm on a roll of like good mood just because I'm not reacting to stuff. So don't react to it. Just don't, right? Don't do it, and you'll find that it becomes much easier when you don't. When you just practice it, and you'll see the value in it, and you'll stop seeing the value in reacting to it because you're getting, um, I guess, like a immediate payoff. Like you feel immediately better when you react to it, and then you feel worse in the long run. But if you don't react to it now, you'll feel bad now, and then in the long run, you'll be like, I have so much peace in my heart. These people, you know, I, you know, I'm not even mad at them. I feel sorry for them. This is what they choose to do with their time. You know, practice. The amount of European Americans that can pay for better legal representation, which leads to not being charged. Yeah, there's that. There's that for sure. Only place you cannot drive on the American continent is Brazil. You cannot drive? What do you mean? You cannot drive. I don't know what you mean. I did a video about Malcolm X too. Did you? Oh, that's cool. Malcolm X is really someone that should be studied by everyone right now. By everyone. He tried to warn us about what we're going through now. I'm my own worst critic. When you dogged yourself so much, what else can anyone else say about you? That's how I view it. Bring on my bug eye shouts. Malcolm X is an intelligent man. Despite religion, he believed that black must come together. Yeah, I do want you to realize, you know, and I don't think that um, Malcolm X or Martin Luther King, they realized these things back when they were in their prime, I guess. Well, before they passed away. These men did not grow old. Um, but much of the downfall and separation and destructiveness, counterproductivity within black communities is manufactured by secret intelligence agencies, right? So, quelle votre profession? You're not French. Tu parles pas français. Well, you might be French, but you don't speak French. I'm sorry. I judged your French. French is my first language. I'm sorry. I was mean. Tu aimes le poulet. That's a little racist. That's a little racist. Don't get blocked. I'm real quick to block people. Um yeah. Anyways, secret intelligence agencies manufacture destruction, and a lot of black towns and black markets back in the day were destroyed by, um, either by the KKK, or by secret intelligence agencies. It is what it is, And somebody saying like, with all due respect, you speak much of your speculation as if it was fact. It is fact, you know. If you don't have to believe me, you can just look at the files that the FBI kept on Martin Luther King. The head of the FBI sent a letter to Martin Luther King while he was in prison, telling him to unalive himself. I'm not making that up. Like, that's not me making it up. It's in his file. It's in his FBI file. So, you know, much respect to you, but if you don't believe me and you think what I'm doing is counterproductive, you can kick rocks. You can leave. I'm not nothing is keeping you here. My enemy is orange with bad makeup. If they were doing the runway on Michelle Visage would have dragged that clown already. That's funny. I respect your live. Myself would curse somebody talking while I'm speaking. I I just don't I just don't care. I don't care very much. No one can really make me mad unless they put their hands on me, or unless they commit violence against me, or some kind of violent act. Words will not get me mad because I always consider the source. Where are these words coming from? You know, is it someone that I respect? Is it someone that I look up to? Is it someone that I want to be like? If it's not, then these words don't matter. I think a big switch that I did, um, as far as my mentality, with as it pertains to people and the things they say, is I stopped trying to be a person that other people would approve of. And I just started asking myself, do I even approve of you? Because if I don't, I could care less what you think. So, others think they are a nuisance. You think they're monsters because you speak the same language.
What are you saying? I love black men who speak truth like Malcolm X and MLK and more. Same. The dude oozing white privilege and he is calling. Who's oozing white privilege? What are we talking about? Were you able to check out Billy Carson? Not yet, but I will. My last woman was controlling. Well, good that you got rid of her. I feel bad for Dr. Malachi Z. Who's that? He was framed and sent to jail. He opened my eyes when I read the holy tablet. He spelled the truth, and I learned his granddaughter is in jail too. Who's that? Who is Dr. Malachi Z. York? American religious leader, best known as the founder of the New Nubian Nation, a new religious movement that has existed in some form and under various different names since the 60s. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. What was he sentenced? 135 years? Multiple charges. Chomo. Racketeering, transporting minors. Yeah, I don't. Yeesh. Wow. Wow. Did he do that? I would have to study it more. I would have to study his case a little bit more. It's not looking good, though. I'll tell you that much. No reaction is key. It sure is. You cannot drive to Brazil, you have to fly. Because of the canal? You mean because of the canal? I was speaking about the continent of America. Sure. With all the respect, you speak much of. Okay. The truth is stranger than fiction, isn't it? Though, isn't it? It sure is. This isn't a TI conversation, in my view. Probably not. I don't always talk about just TIs. What? Fiction mixed with truth is stranger still. I love Malcolm X. We need to study his work. We do. Gloria Estefan. Who's that? I'm willing to bet that this is a gang stalker. Gloria Estefan. I've heard of her. I don't know. York did it. Even his children testified against him. Whoa, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Reading American history, it's terrible. Black folks really suffered. Some places were buried underwater. Yeah, you heard of that, huh? Yeah, I mean, they say, oh, how come you people can't pull yourself by your bootstraps? The Irish came here, they did it. The Italian came here, they did it. When the English came here, of course, they excelled at it. Not understanding that, Gloria Estefan is not from Mexico. She's from Cuba. Pretty sure she's from Cuba. She's Cuban American. She was born in Havana. But yeah, black people were sabotaged at every turn when it comes to building their communities, building their wealth. They're like, oh, the Chinese came here and they did it. What's wrong with you people? It's like nothing wrong with us. Talk to the FBI and the CIA. You know? But you're not going to convince people that, oh, so you're saying that the system is racist? Could it be? Could it be possible that a system that enslaved black folks for hundreds of years and then had Jim Crow laws where they were considered three-fifths of a man, a country where you couldn't drink out of the same water fountain as them, you couldn't go to the same restaurants, sit in the same sections, you couldn't be in the bus unless you were sitting at the back of the bus, you had to give up your seat, you couldn't vote. Could it be possible that though they gave them their freedom reluctantly, they literally had a civil war over it? Could it be possible that the system just decided, yeah, we're going to give them their freedom, but watch this. What do they like to do? They like to forage, make it illegal. What else do? They walk by train tracks, make that illegal. They smoke what? Make that illegal as well. They like to hang out in groups in the street, make that illegal. You know, when I think this is one of the reasons why I don't get mad about people that are racist and that view black people as like violent or unintelligent, you know, low IQ. I'm just like, well, you've never read a book. You haven't read a history book. You don't know your history. If you truly believe that, then it's because you don't know history. And I'm not willing to have a conversation about history with someone who clearly doesn't know history. You know, I'm not willing to have a conversation about race with someone who gets their information from the government. So, oh, the government said that you're 13% of the population, but you commit. Be quiet. Be quiet, boy. My country has never taken over any other country. My country has never colonized any other country. You know, be quiet. Just be quiet. You know, it is senseless to get upset over people who are racist. If you're racist, it's because you don't know. And if you don't know, I feel sorry for you. I'm not upset at you. I feel sorry for you because we're cool. You're missing out. Whatever. Um, as I watch your live stream, these perps still trying to create a false relationship with me on whatever I hear, read, or see. Yeah. You know, I've had people message me, and I'm just like, I'm not trying to make friends, you know? Like, if you're going through something, you know, I feel really bad for you, but at the same time, you have to also understand my situation. My situation is I don't know who you are, you know? You could be really well intentioned. You could be a great person, and perhaps I'm missing out on knowing you. But I'm not interested in making friends. Especially with strangers, and you shouldn't be either. You don't know me. You don't know if I'm an agent. You know, I'm not. But you know, what if I am? What if I'm, you know, doing all of this as like a, you know, a plot to get you. I'm talking about you specific, no, you know. It's just like I don't know who if I don't know who you are, I'm not looking to like you know, build some kind of like close friendship bond. I'm here to help people who need help. I'm here to validate the reality of people who wake up every day and say, this is insane. How could it be that my friends have turned on me? How could it be that my coworkers are all abusing me? How could it be that my family members are in on it now? How is this possible? I'm here to let you know, hey, it's not you. It's not just you. It's not just you. Look at all of us. Look at all of us in the chat. We're all going through the same thing. This is real. It's happening. You're not crazy. And some you know, when you're going through something like this, you know, you need a daily reminder. Honestly, every day I wake up, I need a daily reminder that I'm not nuts. And I know I'm not nuts, but I still need a daily reminder.
So I'll go on other people's pages who are going through this stuff and talk about it just to remind myself, right, right. It's not just me, you know. We're not sharing the same delusion from across like an ocean, you know. There's this guy in France who he's like 23, and ever since he was 15 he's had helicopters just follow him constantly, you know, and they hover over him and he films them. He's just filming them now. And you know, every time I get on Instagram, the first videos I see is his videos, and I just see the same helicopter just hovering over his head, coming by him, leaving, coming right back, leaving, and I'm just like, this is crazy, but it's happening. I'm looking at it, you know. Anyways, don't worry about it. You say anything with an ounce of intelligence, the perps in the comments will try and silence you. Just stand by what you said. Yeah, there you go. These are wise words. Siste, you should heed these words. The most interesting and intelligent people I've had the pleasure of working with, whom I'm lucky to call friends, are black. We're cool. We're cool people. Malachi York is in trouble because he put out the truth. He started that movement because he wanted to put the truth out there and it cost him. I don't know what truth you're talking about, but I would like to know. I'm just saying it's not looking good for, you know, with the charges I just read, it's really bad stuff. That's like unforgivable stuff, you know? If he's guilty. Well, he was found guilty. I guarantee leadership in all areas of the globe are having the pockets lined. Yeah, you can be certain of that. I think the children were forced to go against him. Do you? Do you have any reasons as to why you think that? I'm nuts, but I also have sane moments. It's okay to be a bit nuts and acknowledge, I guess. I'm not nuts. I'm very far from it, but I don't judge. You said something about sleeping with someone while dating. I have been celibate for a while. It will be difficult to do that because I haven't been loved correctly. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think that movies have made it seem like dating is easy or fun, and it's really not. It's not at all. Uh, for like most of our time, dating was like your dad would introduce you to like some guy that you know he met at the job, or like the son of his friend, and like that was dating. Or you would like go to a bar and hang out with your friends, and your friends would present someone to you. Now dating is like meeting strangers on the internet. They used to warn us about not doing that, and now it's how we meet our soulmates. So I'm sorry, this is not funny. um Dating is not easy, and it's not supposed to be easy. If you keep in mind that most of your dates are going to be bad, or most people you meet will not fit the criteria of what it is that you're looking for, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. It's a numbers game. Yeah. The greatest tool that I found as far as dating, what has been most useful for me is is to is to not is to raise my standards and not give second chances, you know? Like when somebody says or does something I don't like, I'm just like, okay, all right. I don't need like a confirmation of like what I think of you already. I'm just like, that was weird. I don't like it. So I started giving people like two chances, like two strikes. Like, oh, you said that, I don't like it. Strike one. Oh, here goes another one. Goodbye. You know? I'm happy that my wife was very patient with me. Uh, I was very like skittish, and I'm truly blessed. I'm truly blessed that I found her. What an amazing human being. Um, Sorry. What's your take on Epstein?
on the Epstein files. What's my take on the Epstein files? I think I shared that a bit. I think it's interesting that they redacted the names of the people that are being accused or that are um, allegedly guilty of or that allegedly participated in crimes, but they unredacted the names of the alleged victims. I think that's interesting. Don't you? Don't you think that's interesting? I think it's interesting. It's noteworthy. It's strange. If you've never read a history book, it is strange. If you don't know history, if you don't know about secret intelligence agencies and the things they do. Did you know that the CIA released a virus in the air in San Francisco because they wanted to see how efficiently it would be propagated with the mist, with the misty air in San Francisco. Turns out it was very effective. Some people passed away, um, but they did that to an entire city, innocent civilians. We really, we really ought to inform people on who exactly the FBI is. Maybe, maybe we'll never know. Maybe it'll never be. It'll never. Not in my timeline. Maybe it'll never be. Um, you know, public knowledge, mainstream knowledge. But it's out there. These operations are out there. These illegal, obviously illegal, releasing a virus on an American city. What? Um, yeah, that's my take on the Epstein files. Sometimes it's just the mind. Like you suddenly see all the cars like yours after you purchase a particular make. You mean like the coincidences? Yeah, I mean, not all of it is. Yeah, sometimes there is coincidences do happen. But there's a difference between coincidences and impossible probabilities. Impossible improbabilities. Like it is an impossible improbability for you to go to work and have people talk about the things you do or make references to it um, 30 times in a year. That is an impossible probability. It's too improbable to happen as a coincidence. I'm like that too. I'm not willing to waste time on anyone who doesn't know history. Folks who don't study irritate me. They don't irritate me at all. I mean, I understand them. I'm just not willing to suffer fools in the sense that I'm not willing to have to engage in a conversation because even if you were going to engage in a conversation in good faith with me, it would be frustrating for me to educate you. Um, and the truth is, no one who's entering into a conversation about racism, from the aspect of being a racist, no one is going to enter a conversation like that in good faith. They're going to anything you say is going to just prove they're going to see it just as proof of what they already believe, or they're going to say you're lying, your source is not real. And on my side, I'm saying no, no, your source is not real. My source is leaked documents. Your source is the government said. Sorry. I think one of the reasons why I enjoy being alone is because I find myself really funny. I crack myself up. You know, the government, Daddy government told me that you guys were dangerous. Yeah, well, Daddy government just dropped a bomb in Nigeria. Daddy government, you know, I mean, let's put it this way, right? If you go to Nigeria, what language do they speak? If you go to, you know, if you go to these countries that were colonized by, the British, they speak English. There are no European countries that speak Yoruba. Nigeria didn't colonize any country in Europe. You call us violent, but we didn't come to your country to, enslave anyone. Uh, be quiet. Be quiet. Just be quiet. And if you're not quiet, it's okay. I'm going to block you. It's fine. But I will not suffer your ignorance or entertain it in any type of way, you know. This really makes me think of when I was a young boy, and people would tell me like, now is not a time for talking, now is a time for listening, and I didn't understand it. I was like, you're ignorant. The best thing that you could do right now is be quiet and maybe learn something, or at least be quiet, you know? And I didn't understand it. I thought, how disrespectful and rude. And now that I'm, educated, informed, more educated and more informed person, I realize, what they meant when they would tell me like, be quiet, you might learn something. Like, we're not having a conversation, you know? You don't know history. If you believe the government, if you trust the government, we can't even talk. We can't talk if you trust the government. We can't have a conversation. You know, Daddy government told me that you guys were dangerous and criminals. Don't make friends with folks you don't know. Even your family member could be against you. Yeah, yeah. You know, and it's nothing personal. I don't want you to think that like it's personal when I refuse to like get close to people. I mean, I don't mind talking to folks, but I just don't want to build friendships with people, you know. I have this channel, and I built this channel because I love people, and I want to help um I want to help people that are going through the same situation that I'm going through, and I want to help people you know, I want to help people that are in a situation that I was in 20 years ago where this was going on and I didn't understand it. I didn't know what was happening. I want to help them because I love people. But in the situation that we're going through, that we're living, you can't trust strangers on the internet. Talking to strangers on the internet is how I got in this position in the first place. So it is what it is. The Wanye. Who's the Wanye? Those people are doing the same thing on me too, are trying to paint me as a bad guy. Yeah, that's how it works. Hey Deb, how's it going? How are you, Deb? Glad you're here. Those charges are wrong. You know how it is. Jesus himself went through the same thing. Huh? For all intents and purposes, the charges that they put on Jesus, though Jesus was a righteous man, he was guilty of these crimes. The system was wrong. So, you know, most of the charges that they put on Jesus, he was guilty of them. It just so happens that, you know, it just so happens that doing the right thing was criminal at the time. It's sort of like if you go back in time like 400 years and you just started, to free slaves, that would be illegal. You would be committing a crime. It would be considered theft. And, you'd be hung for thieving, but you wouldn't be wrong for doing it. So the same situation happened with Jesus. He was found guilty of crimes that he was guilty of. It just so happens that the system was wrong. Um, I don't know this man that you're talking about who was accused of being a chomo, but these are really bad charges. That's all I will say. Okay? I don't want you to think that I'm saying anything about him. I don't know him. I don't know his story. You could be right. You could very well be right. All right? It's a possibility. Maybe he was framed. People get framed. We're all being framed. All of us are being framed here, you know? Michael Jackson got framed. I mean, he was found not guilty, but he did get framed. So it does happen. Jam Jam, I don't want you to think that, I'm speaking badly about Mr. York. I'm just saying that Jesus was guilty, but he was right. Smiley, you are human. I don't know what you're talking about. At this point, we should care about these evil folks. We must focus on waking up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not focused too much on these evil people. I don't focus on them at all, to be honest. Would you say that what you're facing is more aligned with narcissistic harassment or actual state-sanctioned organized harassment? In my case, personally, I don't know. I don't think it matters. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter who's orchestrating it. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter. If the state organized it, it would be the same thing. It's people. The state is comprised of people, and they would hire people to harass me and do the same thing that people would do. So, state sanctioned organized harassment is narcissistic harassment. It's the same thing. Did I say it was the same thing? I'm sorry. Um, I think it's all one and the same, most likely. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Ain't that the truth? The internet is like a human version of the cosmic microwave background radiation after the Big Bang. It's a lot of noise with data attached. Interesting. I don't know what you're talking about, Small. You're a human. Same game, different players. There you go. There you go, Clee TV. CLE TV. You got it. I'd rather be sleeping right now than go to sleep. Um, Seems like I got no choice but to keep going back to the same clowns I don't want to be around. You know what I mean? Even on my days off, I never really caught a break either. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry your situation seems to be getting the better of you. Hopefully, there will be a change of wind in your situation. You're lucky if you don't just fall asleep by how crazy they are. I don't know why that would make me fall asleep. I don't know why. Anyways, did you guys find it funny where when Trump said due to the high demand or high interest, we're gonna release some files on aliens? I thought that was really funny, and then I saw a video of Barack Obama saying that aliens are real. He's like, I haven't seen them, but they're real. Nigga, if you um, I thought that was very interesting. What an interesting timing to talk about aliens. What an interesting timing. How stupid do they think? You know, I'm asking the question to myself and I'm realizing that the answer is quite obvious.
Mm-mm-mm. Damn. Trying to cause another distraction away from what's actually important. Ay, 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 ay. What an interesting timing. I'm having conversations with a friend of mine, you know, and whoop, there goes a gang stalker. Goodbye. Um, yeah, this he's basically trying to distract from the issue that actually matters. Deb, I think it's just like. But anyways, what I was saying is I'm having a conversation with a friend of mine who is a Trump supporter, and I I'm not getting on her about being a Trump supporter. I'm just asking her questions. I'm just asking her questions. And I ask her some questions like, don't you think it's strange that he ran his campaign on we're going to release the Epstein files? And he was saying like, oh, he hasn't been friends with him for many years and all of that. And, um, you know, transparency, no wars. He ran on these things. Don't you think it's strange that now that he's president and it's been alleged that his name is in the file? I mean, it's no longer alleged. We've seen it. His name is in the files the most, pretty much. Um, Now he's telling everybody to get over it, to stop talking about it. Don't you think it's strange? I mean, I'm just asking her, and I feel like she's really coming to realize like this is not adding up. You're right, this is not adding up. Because she used to put up posts on Facebook talking about Trump is trying to give us back our country, and you guys are distracting from you know this like causing distraction with all your issues and blah blah. And I'm like, aren't you devastated about the files? She's like, of course, all these people should go to jail and to hell. And I'm like, don't you think it's strange that he doesn't seem to be it doesn't seem to be a priority to him? And I'm just asking, like, what do you think is behind that? And she's like, I don't know if he's being threatened, and I'm like, okay. I mean, that's interesting. Don't you think that, like, if you can be compromised as a president and threatened into not investigating people who commit, I mean, these crimes that are being talked about is like, I didn't expect that. Trafficking them, I expected it. I expected that. Torturing them, I expected that. Unaliving them, I expected that. Eating them, excuse me, say what? Huh? Huh? I'm just saying. I've been asking her, like, don't you think it's if he can be compromised into telling us that we should stop worrying about that and talk about something else, don't you think he shouldn't be president, or like he's just not doing a very good job then? Because she's been saying like all of these people deserve to go to prison, and I'm just like, your man's is in the files, and he's telling people not to talk about it because she kind of went she got really angry about what Pam Bondi said. The Dow is at 50,000. Come on. Um, she got really angry about that, rightfully so. And I was just thinking to myself, well, you're angry at Pam Bondi
for distracting the issue. Aren't you angry at Trump? Because he did it before. And Pam Bondi was hired by Trump as the AG, Attorney General. She's basically his mouthpiece. She says what he tells her to say. He's her boss. Aren't you mad at him? Because all of this is alleged at the end of the day. All of this is alleged. I don't know. I mean, I have my opinion, and you can guess what my opinion is. I'm not going to share it with you. But all of this is alleged. And if he's not guilty, which is what he says or what he implies, if he's not guilty, why does he want all of us to stop talking about it? I mean, I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm really not. I'm also not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm really not. But he is behaving like a guilty man. Or at the very least, he's behaving like a compromised man, which is not in his character. Hmm. What about Oprah? What about Oprah? I think it's very funny. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I think it's very funny when people say like when I start talking about Trump or any Republicans that may be in the files, and people start naming black people or Democrats or whatever. I don't have a favorite celebrity. I don't have a favorite trafficker. Lock them all up. You know what I mean? Lock them all up. You know, CLE TV says that Oprah is compromised. I think what is um you think Dr. De facto is a fake TI? I don't think so. I mean, I don't defend many people on here, you know. He's told me some things during our private conversation that really make me believe that this guy is for real. This guy is targeted, you know. Um, I don't vouch for anybody. I never vouch for anybody. I'm vouching for him. Anyways, um, anyways, but yeah, I think it's very interesting that the people who backed Trump during his election, like Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn. I mean, Theo Vaughn kind of backed out early on. Anyways, but I think it's very interesting that these people who usually talk about everything, they're being very quiet about all of it now. What is going on? What is happening? There is a trafficking ring being uncovered that was supposed to be uncovered long ago, years ago. The president is telling us to stop talking about it. The attorney general is telling us to talk about something else. The people who backed, the celebrities who backed Trump are not talking about it. What is happening? Why not? Why are you not talking about it?
What are you afraid of? Because these people can't all be guilty. What are they all afraid of? I mean, when it comes to talking about the program, the whole gang stalking program, um, from the moment that I started talking about it, I was aware. I am putting a mark on you know, on myself. I'm putting an X on myself. This is probably going to get much worse, which it has, and they're probably going to try to take me out, which they have. You know, they hit me with directed energy weapons while I was driving. That is attempted unaliving, you know? Um, but my character, my integrity, doing what's right is more important to me than this. Why is everybody being quiet about this trafficking ring? Why are all the people that I expected to speak up and say something, they're being quiet and they're telling us to be quiet? What is happening? All right, I'm done talking about it now. Sorry. Sorry. Um, they can old use zapping through static electricity building up then. The only way to beat them in this fight none of us want is to join together. We are huge in numbers. They fear us all uniting. They do. And you can tell they fear us all uniting because anytime that we do unite or anytime that we do speak up, they ramp up the attacks. They'll infiltrate our groups. I don't know if you guys have been on Reddit. If you've been on the gang stalking subreddit, it is a mess. It has been taken over by perps. If you I want you to do this test, right? Don't take my word for it. Join the subreddit. Write your story. Make a post. Write your story. And then come back to me. Tell me how quickly they block you. Do it today. Go on this on the gang stalking subreddit, not the other ones like Truth, gang stalking Truth, or um, you know Ti or whatever. Just gang stalking. So the subreddit that is named gang stalking. Go on it, make an account, go on it, write your story. Shortly, like a paragraph, stating what you've been going through, and then report back to me how quickly you get banned from the subreddit. Anybody who tells a story that is half believable will get banned. And everything you read on there is just people trolling. Eh, while driving is insidious. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. I used to be shocked. And then I remembered. Oh yeah. You read the MLK files. You know what these people do. Did you see how Britain arrested Andrew? I think it's a smart move so that he won't be extradited. Hmm. I thought it was interesting that he was arrested on his 66th birthday. That was interesting. Very Masonic. Anyways, may come off wrong, but I genuinely think most of the files are not real. I think there's a high probability that some of it is not real. Um, I think the emails are real. The back and forth emails, I think they're real. Where they talk about, eating. I think that's real.
Even if most of it was not real, enough of it is real. Whether they're real or not, I just talk honest. I'll drag this out till June if I have to peacefully. By there, I was kicked off Facebook too. Facebook blocked me fast before I could open eyes. Dang. Are you still doing the interviews with your subscriber, or are you holding off for a minute? No, I'm gonna do interviews. I haven't done interviews lately because I was going to interview Andrew. Well, I was in a bad mood lately, so I wasn't doing interview, but I've been in a good mood for like the past 2 3 days, and I was supposed to interview Andrew McCready yesterday, but he canceled last minute because of a work schedule change, and that's why I haven't done any interviews. But I would like to do more interviews. Yes, it's just that the people I want to interview don't really want to do interviews, and I get people messaging me saying that they want to do interviews, but I'm just like I don't know you though. It's hard to like get on a live with people on a live stream. I mean, with people that I don't know because I just don't know what you're gonna do or say, and whatever. But yeah, yeah, I will. I will. I beg of thee to have patience, to have mercy and patience with me. I don't trust people, but I'm here to help you guys, and getting your stories out there is what's going to help you guys. So we're gonna get we're gonna get on that. The names we did see from the files are not big players yet. Yet. Actually, I would I would argue that they are. Hmm. Ghislaine Maxwell's father was involved in a huge pension thieving scandal in the early 90s. They see us as interesting. Well, guys, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Have you ever tried moving away from the targeting? Have you ever had it follow you after moving? Yeah, several times. Some of the most miserable people you'll ever be around. Indeed. Um, guys, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Hopefully, you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, whatever time it is where you are. Um, you had me rolling when you had that one video about seeing the sign. What sign? What are you talking about? Seeing the signs? Do you mean the video where I compare gang stalkers to vampires? Is that the one you're talking about? What sign? I don't know what you're talking about. To intervene as well, to intervene as well as the Whistleblower Act under Freedom of Information under none classified or any protected legislation rulings. Dang, I'm sorry, I can't keep up with you, Smile. You're a human. Um, I'm sorry. I think you might be a little too smart for me. I can't keep up with what you're talking about. Have you ever had recruitment attempts? Hmm. On the truck, no asking about dog trainer how they followed you. What? On the truck? What truck? Oh, when I was in my car, you mean, I think. They couldn't see the sign from the highway. That's what you said in your video. Oh, right. You're right. I had Beulah Butte is or Bo LA. I don't know. I don't know how to say your username. I'm sorry. She's talking about that one time where there was a guy that followed me on the highway, and then he followed me on the street, and then he followed me all the way to my house. And I walked. I went into my driveway, which was like a really big driveway, and parked my car. And then I walked all the way back to his car because he was just standing there, like idling there. And I just went to him like, "Can I help you?" And he was like, "Oh no, I was just taking down your phone number on your car because I have advertisement for dog training on my car." He was like, "I was just taking down your phone number because I have a dog and I want to get it trained." And I was just like, "You couldn't get my number from the highway? Like, take a picture or something? Like, we've been at several stops. My website is on the back of my car, like on the bumper. You could have taken a picture of that or whatever. Just don't follow me home. This is insane." But that happened long before I realized, well, long before I found out what gang stalking was. So I didn't know he was gang stalking me. And of course, after several years now that I know about gang stalking, I'm coming to realize that, oh, this guy he was in on it. He was following me home. Like, who does that happen to? Who gets followed home, right? Um, have you ever gone to the store and people are filming each other and try to invade your space and get you on the video or act like they are? Are they physically on drugs? They have no manners. That's never happened to me, but it has happened to my brother that he got followed in the store. It's happened to me once actually that I got followed. It's happened only once, and it was shortly after they burnt my brother's car and slashed my wife's tire. And I went to the like a hardware store. It's called Canadian Tire, and I went to go pick up some stuff to go change my wife's tire. And I saw this guy. I noticed him before he noticed me, and I noticed him because he had a really bad hair dye job. He had like really long hair. He was a white man with like really long hair. Um, it wasn't like curly or anything, but it was like flowy, I guess. But it looked super dry. His hair looked super dry, and it had like it was like it was dyed really bad. Like he chose a really bad color that didn't fit, and it was really badly done. And I was just looking at his hair like that's a terrible dye job. I've never noticed a dye job in my life before, but that's a really bad dye job here that I'm looking at. And so I noticed him, and then he looked at his phone. I was looking at his head, and he looked at his phone, and then he turned and he looked at me, and then he looked back at his phone, and then he looked at me again, and then he started following me. And immediately I was like, that guy's following me. So I started walking around, and I was like, yep, he's following me. And then I walked all the way to my car, and he followed me all the way to my car. And yeah, that was a weird moment. But that was the one time that I noticed someone following me on foot. Anyways, it is what it is. Um, anyways, I'm gonna go to bed, guys. It was great talking to you guys. As I always say, you deserve grace. You deserve mercy. Love yourself first. Always take care of yourselves, guys. Um, if you're in a bad mood, do something to get yourself out of that bad mood. Go for a walk. Do some push-ups. I mean, I promise you, you'll feel better. Shadow box. Get some of that negative energy out. You know, you'll feel better. And if you're feeling great, I want you to I want you to observe your situation and see how it's making you better. If you're feeling good, like don't look at your situation to like mess up your mood. If you're in a good mood, look at your situation and see how it has made you a better person, how it has made you a more efficient person, how it has made you a more um, it has given you a better character. Hopefully it has. So take care, guys. See you soon.